Hey, what's up everyone? Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. So I'm sure if you guys have been paying attention, you've been hearing all about how gamers are entitled, right? And today I'm here to show you the perfect example of entitlement, as observed among a select group of gamers, and of course pretty much all the big name game alleged journalists. When is exclusion a valid design choice? I'll easily answer that right now. Whenever the designer feels like it is. As far as I'm concerned, boom, drop the mic, we're done. But our good old buddy Ben Kuchera over at Polygon has to milk an entire article out of this. Cuphead is a very challenging game in ways one can argue are both good and bad. But let's put that aside for a moment and ask another serious question that's at the heart of a rather nasty conversation that has sprouted up again due to the game's difficulty. Are you owed the act of finishing a game because you bought it? Well, gee, Ben, I don't know. Are you owed a passing grade in a college course because you paid for it? Are you owed a passing score on a certification exam because you paid for it? Are you owed a jackpot because you put a coin in the slot machine? You tell me, I don't know. But before I move on, I just want to point out, didn't DSP finish Cuphead? You know, the DSP? The guy who's pretty much famous for sucking at video games? Didn't he beat it? So what's your guys' excuse? Oh right, the tutorial was too hard, I remember that video. But anyway, moving on. It's not as silly a question as it sounds at first. Video games are one of the only means of expression where you have to pass some sort of test before seeing the rest of what the experience has to offer. Oh my god, you're right! Maybe this is why people prefer games to other means of expression these days. Maybe this is why gaming overtook even Hollywood. So let's throw out everything that makes gaming awesome, and instead let's mimic what all these failing institutions are doing, because that's the road to success. No one asks you to solve a logic problem before reading the last page of a book, nor are there many art galleries that ask you a quiz about the paintings you saw in the last room before you can get to the next one. Of course not, that would be dumb. Kind of like a game that didn't require your input and skill to advance. Just 2 paragraphs in, and I'm kind of under the impression that you don't really like games all that much. You instead would rather have movies. And you know what? I got some good news for you, Mr. Kuchera. As much as you ask for an easy mode or the option to skip boss fights, if you basically want to remove all interaction from the game and you just want to see the story and the artwork, you already can. It's called Go Watch a Let's Play. You clearly just want to see a movie, and thanks to the wonders of the internet, you have that within your grasp. Oh, and here's the best part. You don't even have to buy the game to do that, too. Whew, man, I am so glad I was able to solve your problem so quickly and easily like that. Oh, but what's this? You still don't get it and you want to move on? Okay. The difficulty will turn some people off, and those people will never get to see that art. They will never enjoy those animations. The design of the game itself keeps them out, when the addition of an easy mode or an option to skip the bosses would allow everyone to see as much or as little as they want. Man, I'm gonna have to repeat myself already, huh? Go watch a Let's Play. But you know what? I'm a pretty nice guy. Even though you already have exactly what it is you're asking for, I for one would not be against having easy mode or boss skip buttons in games. This, after all, would be the perfect time to insert microtransactions, right? Oh, you want to skip this boss? Sure, pay us $10 every time you want to do it. That's pretty much how it was done in the arcade, you know. Yeah, it's not true for all games, but some games, every time you have to continue, it gets a little bit easier too. So as long as you have the quarters to keep feeding the machine, eventually everyone's going to see the end, right? But anyway, despite how awesome that idea is, let's get serious here. I'm serious when I say I really wouldn't mind those extra options. If people want to ruin the experience for themselves, I don't care, let them do it. If someone wants to pay $60 plus like another $120 for the season pass and all the DLC, and then not even play the game, okay, no skin off of my back. Now, if only you guys had this same attitude when it comes to, say, sexiness or any type of censorship in games too, huh? We could all be happy if you just allowed the option to turn the censorship on or off. Oh, but that's different, isn't it? No, we can't have an option there. We need to have it entirely our way. Yeah, these are the kinds of people we're dealing with here. Because having an option to remove the censorship would defeat the whole purpose of the censorship, wouldn't it? But by that logic, having an option to get around a difficult game would completely defeat the purpose of the difficulty of the game, wouldn't it? I'd like to see a little bit of consistency from these morons, even once, but I know I'm never gonna get it though, so I'm not gonna hold my breath. But then, Ben being Ben, he completely jumps the shark, although even he notices this for a split second. There's also the issue that games this difficult, with no option to turn down that difficulty or skip boss fights, can completely dismiss players without full motor control of one or both hands. Yeah, sure, you go ahead and preach this. When I've seen videos of people playing, say, like Legend of Zelda with just their faces and winning, or the blind guy that beat Legend of Zelda, or the guy that was beating Cuphead on a DDR mat, you don't exactly need motor control in your hands for that now, do ya? Where there's a will, there's a way. What's the point of hiking if you can just take a car up to the summit, huh? But anyway, this is the part where he almost shows a little bit of sign of sentience right here. Now we're talking about museums that don't offer things like wheelchair ramps, and I think this metaphor has gotten away from me a bit. Yeah, it has. Because being an interactive medium that's entirely based on overcoming challenges and learning to get to the end, a game requiring motor control is not like a museum without wheelchair ramps. It'll be a lot more like one of those bigoted exclusionary museums not having a way for blind people to admire the Mona Lisa. It helps if you actually stop to think about some of this stuff before you write articles about it. And this is coming from a guy that's just saying this off the cuff as I'm reading the article. How sad is that? If players decide the value of personal accomplishment in a game, and they do, why not let them also decide how they want to engage that game if it's technically possible? You can skip right to the end of any episode of Game of Thrones if you're watching on HBO's app and no one will stop you. Your enjoyment will be decreased, but I'm not sure anyone would argue that the value of the show itself is diminished because you have that option. Alright, first off, let me repeat myself again. Gaming is an interactive medium, so it kind of needs that, or else you're literally just watching a movie. And on that topic, let me repeat myself again because, as I already mentioned, you have the option to just watch a Let's Play. Clearly you are not a fan of games, you just want to watch movies. And thanks to the internet, you can do that. You can just watch someone else play the game for you. In fact, in his own article, he even links a video of a guy doing perfect runs of all of Cuphead's bosses. You already have exactly what you want. But yeah, let me reiterate before I sign off. I got nothing against games having a game journalist difficulty. If people out there want to pay premium for a game and then just completely ruin the experience and not even play it and basically get the same thing out of it as you could have by just watching someone else play it on Twitch, let them do it. I don't care. Just make sure that using any sort of functionality like this stops them from earning any of the achievements in the game, though. Mostly because I look forward to them completely moving the goalpost to that later. Yeah, I know we never played the game and we didn't achieve anything, but we shouldn't be excluded from getting achievements, should we? Man, if these people weren't actively destroying my beloved hobbies, this would be pretty funny. That's all I gotta say, guys. Thanks for listening.